So we often think minimalism is just about our stuff and that if we just like declutter a bunch of junk, we'll be minimalist. But actually the key to living a simple, uncomplicated, minimal family life starts right here. What we like to call in the South, the noggin. Let's just go straight into the minimalist mindsets that moms have. The mindset you might want to kind of put on. Remember our minimalist hat? We want to put that on. If you feel like life's just getting overwrought and you need to bring it back down to the basics, let's hit it. The first mindset that you really want to kind of take on board, or this is like the thought, the filter through which you make your decisions whenever you're contemplating what you should do with your family, and that is this. Why am I really doing this? The why, if you will. Why do I want to buy this? Why do I want to spend $400 on Amazon? I don't want to, do you? Why do I think we need to start this business? Why do I think we need to homeschool or not homeschool? Why? The reason this one is gold and I wanted to mention it first is because often we feel compelled to do something, and when we zoom back and think about the why, we can sort of not do that thing we were thinking. So for example, shopping. I got into this habit where when I was stressed, I would be like, if I buy something, it's gonna fix my problems. What should I buy? Which of course is a lie. So what I started doing, I started tricking myself. If I found something I wanted to buy, I would email it to myself and I would be like, I'm gonna buy that. Sometime if I need it, I'm gonna buy that. And I would save it in my email. 99 times out of 10, I never went back to it and I never bought it, but it satisfied that part of me that felt like I needed to do something to get some satisfaction. I needed to get a little bit of stress out. You know, it was a mood altering, I guess. So my why was I was trying to mood alter, but I didn't actually need that stuff. And so whenever I realized my why, I gave myself an alternative way to do it that didn't cost me any money or get me any more stuff. So this also applies, why do I want the kids to play sports if it's gonna drive me nuts? So that is a good question. First, we always need to think about, why am I actually doing this? The second filter minimalist moms have that goes through their mind when they're thinking about their family life in general is, how is this going to affect my whole family and family life? So this might be, if you're thinking about what kind of extracurriculars or what activities you're gonna do with the kids, how is this gonna affect us all if we're out 5 nights a week having to eat fast food, getting to bed really late because my 6-year-old's got practice till 9 p.m. How is this gonna affect us all? But if the juice ain't worth the squeeze, we don't do it. So minimalist mom says, like, at the bare bones, down at the bottom of this decision, how's it gonna affect us all if you quit, or if I get a new job, or if we, whatever the case may be. All of our decisions, family life decisions, get filtered through this, but how is it really gonna affect us? And when we think about that, often we just make a decision before we actually think about how it's really gonna affect us. If we think about the how, often we see, oh yeah, that's gonna be mad chaos. That's gonna cause us some real problems. Guess who's gonna have to deal with the problems? Me. So I'm making a decision that's gonna cause problems and I'm gonna have to solve these problems. Juice ain't worth the squeeze. So if you don't just act, but you think, and you think, why? How? If the upside or the downside is not something you can live with, we just don't do it. So the third mental mindset that moms who wanna have a more minimalist, uncomplicated family life filter through, you know, their questions, their decisions is this. Who will have to micromanage this? Who's gonna have to micromanage it? If I buy all this stuff, who's gonna organize it? Or if I decide to create this elaborate organizing system, who's gonna maintain it? Spoiler alert, not your kids. Your kids ain't gonna maintain it. Oh no, no, they're not. You, the answer's you. Who's gonna have to do all the driving around? Who's gonna have to do all the extra planning and organizing of the babysitter? Whatever the case may be, enter the decision you have to make. Who's gonna have to do it all? I say this a lot in my book, If Mama Ain't Happy. Go check it out. You can get it wherever books are sold. I'll link below too. If you're the one that's having to do everything, you're the one that gets to decide how it's done. You get to decide the standard. You get to decide if it's too much. I hear from a lot of moms, like, spouses are very demanding but never help. Kids are very demanding but never help. And everybody has an opinion about how they want mom to do it. But if you're the one that's doing it all, if the who is you, then don't take on more than you can handle. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't have eyes bigger than your stomach. I'm just bringing out all of my grandmother's good sayings today, I feel like. If the who is you, then you gotta keep it simple. So the fourth minimalist filter mindset that moms have who are getting in this uncomplicated family life is this. What is the purpose of this thing that everyone is doing? And why do I care? I'll give you an example. This is embarrassing, but the truth is, because I like to be right so much, I love to know if I'm wrong. So I will very easily admit that I'm wrong because I want to be corrected. You know why? Because I actually want to be right all the time. So I made this mistake recently. Everybody was talking about these cups everywhere. It's like a Stanley cup. Literally, I felt like people were just talking about them all the time, okay? And then I was like, there just must be something so good about this cup. Like, this cup, it's like, I probably wouldn't have even screamed in labor if I'd have had this cup. You know what I'm saying? No, it would have made my life better. So, you know, I'm gonna get one of these cups. Oh, they're sold out. These cups are so good. Literally, they can't even manufacture them to keep up with the demand. I'm gonna put my name on the waiting list. I'm gonna do it. And then it's like, they're coming out tomorrow with blue. Do you know how much money I spent on this cup? $40. $40. I spent $40 on this cup. Okay, you know what I get? You know what's so great about the cup? It's just a cup. It is literally just a cup. So now I'm making myself use it all the time because I spent that much money like an idiot, okay? So I would have avoided that if I would have thought about what is the purpose of this thing and why do I care? So this is what I like to think when I'm buying something. What is the purpose of this? The purpose of this is to be able to drink out of. Do you know how many cups I have? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how many cups I have. A lot. I have a lot of cups. The purpose is to drink. I can do that. Why do I need this? I don't. Why? Am I doing it because everybody else is doing it? Yes. Yes, I am. In that case, I failed. And now I have a $40 cup staring at my face every day that's reminding me. But in general, I am pretty good about this, and it's something we need to think about. Why do I care? And I see this happen a lot, you know, because of social media. We see people saying they're going here, they're doing this, it's the best, rah, 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 and then we think, I've got to do that. I literally have to do that. And actually, if I don't do that, you know, the kids are gonna pay. You know what I mean? I owe it to my kids to buy them this. I really do. They deserve it. And we talk ourselves into all kind of stuff, and then we spend all kind of money, and then we think, I just feel like I really overspent. And we just got caught in this trap of everybody did it, it's good, there's some reason. I don't really know what the reason is, but I'm sure it's good if I really thought about it. Or I remember, and I mentioned this in my book too, I had a colleague who wanted her kids to do ballet, and so when they were little, she put them in ballet, and they would throw down in the parking lot every ballet lesson. Like, they literally would scream, they hated it. And it was like, I'm character building. This child is gonna learn to persevere. The child was like 3 and they hated ballet. Like, just sit them outside in the dirt. Do you know what I mean? So this is one of these decisions. It's like, it's good for kids to be well-rounded. They need to do other things. They need to learn to follow through on their commitments. They need to learn teamwork. So we're spending money on something that's unnecessary, that our kids don't like, and then we're having to deal with the temper tantrum fallout. Do I need to keep going? What is the purpose? And if the purpose can be met in another way without spending any money or getting another thing, then we don't need it. The fifth and the last sort of mental filter mindset for minimalist moms that I have is, when can this fit into my schedule? When would it fit in? This is how you say, okay, you know, and I see this all the time. Moms are like, my life's so complicated. You know what would make it less complicated? If I was an influencer, if I started an online business, then I would make more money, then life would be less complicated. So for the next year to 2 years, I'm going to work 50 hours a week to try to get this thing off the ground so that I can make some more money so that my life is less complicated. See, these are the mental gymnastics that we can all go through. Obviously, I couldn't think this up in my head if this wasn't how I also am, okay? But when are these things gonna fit in? Do we have to stay up super late? Are we gonna get up super duper early or pretend to get up super duper early to do something to try to fit it in? Are we gonna have to have yet another day of the evening night of the week where we have to hire a babysitter? Am I gonna have to get somebody else to logistically deal with this so that we can do this? If it doesn't make sense with our schedule, if the when is gonna make our schedule crazy, a minimalist mom says, no thanks. Not into it. Not this week. Probably not this semester. That's a number of ways that you can say no without hurting anybody's feelings. So minimalist moms, I think, and this is something, I struggled to call myself this for so long until I literally looked around at basically, and just realized I actually am like this. At the bare, but it's not minimalist in terms of I want to get everything out and throw everything out. It's minimalist in terms of I've really narrowed down what I care about, what is good for the family, where we thrive. And if it does not, whatever the thing is, does not fit in this small space, it doesn't fit. If the win is gonna make us all crazy or make me crazy, it's just not gonna fit. Mental minimalism is really where we need to go. It's just the foundation of having a peaceful life. And if you wanna know more about this, I actually wrote an entire book, If Mama Ain't Happy, and I talk a lot about how to narrow down to live within your boundaries and not live past your limits, not go past your ability to cope, to come back down and live really in that sweet spot where you can do things and be okay. And then you're gonna start to really be aware of where that is. And if a commitment or a purchase or an obligation starts to feel like it's gonna take you outside of that, or take somebody else in your family outside of that, or take your whole family outside of that like cocoon of peace, so to speak, then you just gotta say no. You gotta ask yourself, what's the point? Who's gonna end up having to deal with all this? Why am I really doing it? And if you don't get satisfactory answers, you don't do it. I hope this video has encouraged you, and I have a whole nother video, my next one, that's on parenting mindsets that bring you peace and not stress, and I hope you enjoy it.